is that the car has some frame damage. There is no clock spring on this car. The issue that we're now running into is that the car doesn't start. Let's go. Oh my God. Finally. So we went ahead and got the car started, and it wasn't what anyone thought. The first thing we decided to do was go ahead and change the battery right there. It wasn't the battery was good, and replacing this battery honestly didn't even do much. The actual issue was right over here. So as you guys can see right over here, I have a very sketchy situation going on. This blue wire right over here was wired to the interior, and some of you guys may recognize this switch. This switch was the kill switch that we had inside the interior. And once I went ahead and disconnected the battery to work on the car, I unplugged it while it was in the off position. So what I had to do is kind of rewire this kill switch back, flip the switch on, and now the car starts. Without this, it doesn't start. I think it has to do because it is tapped into the main harness over there. So yes, the reason why the car wasn't turning on is because of this kill switch right over here. We did get it flicked on, and this kill switch right here as well is mounted very temporarily. I just kind of wrapped the wire around the strut bar over here and then wired it back to that switch. This is just temporarily. I'm going to go ahead and fix this once we start pulling the frame and once we start pulling the core support out as well, because I also do have to take care of all this stuff that the previous owner did. So I'm going to take care of all of that. This is just very temporary, and this was the main reason why the car wasn't starting. Moving on to the interior of the car. Again, in the last video, we got most of it done. We got the steering wheel on, we got the new dash installed, we got these curtain airbags also installed right over here. So I got one on this side. I also got one on this side right over here as well. And then my favorite part, we now have functioning seatbelts that actually go ahead and work. But while I was going ahead and digging into the interior, I also found what this was. I know in the last video, I said I have no idea what this even is and it leads to nothing. It's hard to see, but down here, we have a whole entire control unit, which I have no idea what that is for right over there, as you guys can see. That's also going to have to come off because that is a hazard that can get in the way very easily. But that's what this black wire kind of wired to. And it also wired to the battery, but since we have a new battery, I just completely removed it from there. But yes, this is that over there. Still no idea what this is. So now that the car is on, you guys can see that we still have a bit of a Christmas tree going on the dash right over here. We still have the traction light, we still have the ABS light, we still have this handbrake light, which I originally thought was just because the handbrake was up. But once we put the handbrake down, that light is still there. And at first, I thought it was the clock spring. It probably still is. But these lights right over here, I think has to do with the car not having the ABS fuse. The ABS fuse on this car has been removed. And I think once that is removed, these lights show. So I did go ahead and order the part. It is back ordered. It's probably going to take a little while to come in. But once we plug that fuse in, all these lights should go and we should only be left with the SRS. And the reason why we have the SRS light on is because the two sensors in the front are not plugged in until we get the frame pulled. All of this I'm hoping is a simple fix, and we just need to go ahead and get that fuse up in the fuse box over there. Okay, so by the looks of it right now, the steering wheel feels so good. Car is also pulling a little bit to the left, which may be some suspension issue, I don't know. Car was hit on the driver's side as well, so possibly yes. Also, there is nothing in the seat over here, and I'm getting the seatbelt code. Also, yeah, the car is, I don't know if you guys can see the steering wheel right now, but the car is pulling a bit to the left. Like I should be going straight, but the alignment is very off. So again, it could be suspension damage, could be the car needs an alignment. Look at the steering wheel. Steering wheel right now is not straight at all. I don't know if you guys can hear the backfires, but the car is backfiring a bit as well. Most likely a custom tune. Something is up with it for sure. Those are not normal. Those seem like a custom tune type of backfires, like the one I have on my FRS. So that's something I gotta look into as well, because I have no idea what this car is tuned to. I have no idea what this car is capable of. That's why I'm also not trying to rip on it today as well. Also trying to take it a bit easy, just check to see if the car is overheating, check to see if all the gears are working, check to see about the alignment. Just by doing that, I figured out a lot of things. I figured out that the front driver's side controller most likely needs replacing. Something to do with that side, that suspension component needs to be fixed. When I do turn the car and I am rolling, I can feel that there's something wrong with that side of the car over there, and everything else does seem fine. That's a pretty big W. The car is working. Car is hella dirty though, but don't mind that. Things first, we got some fender liners over here. So it may not look like it, but this right here is thousands of dollars in parts. I've already went ahead and installed the seatbelts, the airbags, and the dash that came from the part out build as well. And those are already in the car. We installed that in the last episode, but these are the other pieces that I do have for the build. And these pieces right over here weren't cheap either. To start off, the biggest thing you guys probably will notice, we now have two new front fenders. That we have the left fender and the right fender. They are in black because the part out car was black. It's gonna get painted or wrapped anyways, so it doesn't really matter. The fenders on this car right over here were damaged, and I don't really think it's savable, so I just went ahead and picked up new ones. And another huge piece you'll see over here, this right over here, for those of you guys that don't know, this is the core support for the car. I was complaining how he cut his core support. I'm gonna go and replace the whole entire core support on the front end of the car, so we can pretty much make it OEM. If you guys take a look at the car right now, you can tell that the car is very slanted. That's because of the job that the previous owner did. But this core support should go ahead and fix all of this. Right underneath, you guys are going to notice this black impact bar. I didn't get this from the part out build. I bought this brand new from the dealership, along with other pieces like the weather stripping, and there is a bunch of bolts and just OEM hardware all in the bottom right over here from the dealership, just to make it a lot easier. Now, on top of those two things, we got some new fender liner for the car. On this car, it is ripped pretty badly, so that's going to be replaced. And then we have the AC condenser and the radiator. And on top of that, we got the AC lines. We got new OEM headlights for the car. And then we have these right over here. These are the headlight brackets that my car doesn't currently have, so I need the headlight brackets line up the front bumper, the core support, and the headlights. So that piece right over there is very important as well. These These two pieces right over here, you guys may not recognize these. These are the crash sensors for the car. So this is what makes your airbags deploy. We got both these crash sensors right over here. That's going to mount up on the core support. Also, we'll be replacing those with these right over here. And on top of all of this, there's a bunch of more lines, more parts, everything that you guys can probably see. Again, these parts right over here, I saved a lot by getting it from a part out build, but if I went new, these parts would have cost thousands of dollars. And with all of this, now we're pretty much going to be saying bye to the car because the car is heading out to the frame shop. We're going to get the frame pulled and hopefully a lot of this installed. But the major thing is we're going to get the frame pulled and straightened out. And once that is done, then all these parts right over here should line up very easily. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Hopefully we can get it all done pretty quickly and get this car back to how it was stock.
Till I hear him say, oh, oh.